Most people start their day in absolute defense mode, and if we are being honest, you probably did it this morning. The alarm goes off, and before your feet even hit the floor, you're reaching for your phone. You're immediately flooding your brain with other people's lives on social media, stressing over work emails, or reading bad news headlines. You are reacting to the world before you have even taken a conscious breath, and by the time you actually get out of bed, you are already behind. You've given away your focus, your energy, and your calm before 8 o'clock am. Now, contrast that with the morning of a self-made millionaire. It isn't that they are smarter than you, and it isn't that they don't have problems. It is that they do not rely on luck to start their day, they rely on a system. They understand that if you win the morning, you win the day. But if you lose the morning to chaos, you spend the rest of the day just trying to catch up. In this video, we are going to break down the 5 specific morning habits that self-made millionaires use to program their brains for wealth. And the best part is that you don't need a bank account full of money. To start them, you just need to wake up. Before we get into the specific habits, we need to fundamentally redefine what a money mindset actually is. Because most people think it's just sitting around visualizing stacks of cash. But that is not how wealth is built. A true money mindset is actually about biology and psychology, specifically regarding something called cognitive bandwidth. Science tells us that your brain has a limited amount of decision-making power every single day. So every time you obsess over what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, or how to reply to a stressful text first thing in the morning, you are burning through the mental fuel you need for high-value decisions later in the day. Self-made millionaires treat their morning routine as a fortress that protects their cognitive energy. They don't just wake up to get things done. They wake up to put themselves in a peak state of mind so that when they do sit down to work, they are operating at 100% capacity while everyone else is running on empty. What we are about to cover isn't just a list of chores. It is a blueprint for shifting from a reactive life where you are a victim of your schedule to a proactive life where you are the architect of your future. The first and most critical habit of every self-made millionaire is mastering their inputs, which specifically means refusing to touch their smartphone for the first 60 minutes of the day. This sounds simple, but in the modern world, it is an act of rebellion. When you wake up and immediately scroll through Instagram, TikTok, or your email inbox, you are voluntarily entering a state of high-stress reactivity. You are letting the agendas, emergencies, and curated highlight reels of other people dictate your emotional state before you have even brushed your teeth. Biologically, this floods your brain with cheap dopamine and cortisol, which scatters your attention span for the rest of the day. A millionaire understands that their focus is their most expensive asset. If they fragment that focus at 7 o'clock a.m., they cannot leverage it for high-level problem solving at 2 o'clock p.m. by keeping the phone in another room or on airplane mode. You preserve your alpha brainwave state, a state of calm, creative alertness that is unique to the morning hours. This is the time when your subconscious is most open to new ideas and solutions, but only if you protect it from the noise of the outside world. This habit isn't about being anti-technology, it is about being pro-focus. It is the decision to start your day on your own terms, generating your own thoughts and priorities rather than consuming the thoughts of strangers. If you want to build a financial empire, you must be a creator, not a consumer. And creators do not start their day by consuming content. They start by creating the mental space necessary to build wealth. Once you have secured your mental perimeter, the next step is physical activation, because the idea that you can have $1 million mind inside a sedentary, sluggish body is a complete myth. You will rarely find a self-made millionaire who doesn't engage in some form of physical activity in the morning. And this has nothing to do with vanity or getting six-pack abs. It is strictly about business performance and cognitive efficiency. When you sleep, your metabolic rate slows down and your brain fog accumulates. Moving your body is the fastest way to reverse this process. Whether it is 20 minutes of high-intensity interval training, a brisk run, or heavy lifting, exercise releases a powerful cocktail of neurochemicals, including dopamine, serotonin, and most importantly, BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein literally acts as fertilizer for your brain, repairing neurons and creating new neural pathways, which allows you to learn faster and make connections that others miss. Think of your body as the hardware and your mind as the software. You cannot run high-speed, complex financial software on hardware that hasn't been rebooted and optimized. When you exercise first thing, you are effectively supercharging your blood with oxygen and glucose, the two primary fuels your brain needs to make executive decisions. By tackling a physical challenge before breakfast, you also create an immediate psychological win. You prove to yourself that you are disciplined and capable of doing hard things. And that confidence carries over directly into your business negotiations and financial risks later in the day. After waking up the body, the self-made millionaire shifts focus to feeding the mind, treating knowledge acquisition with the same seriousness as an investment portfolio. This is where the concept of compound knowledge comes into play. Just as money multiplies over time through compound interest, wisdom multiplies through consistent daily reading. The average person reads less than one book a year, while the average CEO reads 60. And this discrepancy is not a coincidence. Millionaires understand that their earning potential is directly capped by their learning potential, so they dedicate at least 30 minutes every morning to high-value learning before the busy work of the day begins. This doesn't mean reading the news or checking stock tickers, which is just information. It means reading books on psychology, history, biography, or leadership content that provides timeless principles rather than temporary data. When you read a biography of someone like Rockefeller or Jobs in the morning, you are essentially downloading their lifetime of experience into your brain in a matter of days, allowing you to avoid their mistakes and replicate their successes. This habit keeps your perspective elevated above the daily grind. While your competitors are worrying about petty problems, you are analyzing the macro trends and mental models you just learned. This morning's study session is what separates the wealthy, who are constantly upgrading their mental operating system, from the poor, who are trying to run today's economy on yesterday's skills. You are effectively paying yourself first, not in cash, but in the intellectual capital required to generate the cash later. The final chapter of the morning routine is where the abstract potential of the day is converted into a concrete plan of attack, combining strategic visualization with ruthless prioritization. Most people write to-do lists that are really just wish lists of low-value tasks like answering emails or running errands. But millionaires operate from a success list. They identify the single most important task, the one thing that will move the needle furthest for their financial goals. And they commit to doing that task first. But before they execute, they visualize. This isn't the law of attraction fluff where you just imagine a Ferrari and hope it appears. This is the tactical visualization used by elite athletes. They close their eyes and mentally rehearse the day, not only imagining the successful outcome of that big meeting or negotiation, but also anticipating the obstacles that might arise and preloading their response to them. They simulate the stress and the solution in their mind so that when it happens in reality, it feels like déjà vu. They have already solved the problem. By the time they sit down at their desk, they are not wondering what to do. They are executing a pre-programmed mission. This eliminates decision fatigue, the draining state of having to constantly choose what to do next. By defining the day's target and visualizing the path to hit it before 8 o'clock a.m., they ensure that even if the rest of the day goes wrong, they have already accomplished the one revenue-generating activity that matters most. This moves them forward significantly every single day, while everyone else is just moving sideways. Here is the uncomfortable truth that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Knowing these habits changes nothing, but doing them changes everything. We often trick ourselves into thinking that we need a lucky break, a massive inheritance, or a genius business idea to become wealthy. But the reality is much more boring and much more powerful. Wealth is simply the accumulation of disciplined days stacked on top of each other, year after year. The habits we discussed today, protecting your focus, igniting your body, compounding your knowledge, and executing your blueprint, cost absolutely $0 to implement. You do not need a gym membership to do push-ups. You do not need a fancy library to read 10 pages. And you do not need an assistant to put your phone in the other room. The only barrier standing between where you are right now and the financial freedom you want is your willingness to do the unglamorous work when nobody is watching. If you wait until you feel like it, you will be waiting forever. You don't become a millionaire and then start acting like one. You adopt the habits of a millionaire today, and the results eventually catch up to your identity. So, I have a challenge for you. Do not try to overhaul your entire life tomorrow morning, because you will burn out by Wednesday. Pick just one of the habits we discussed today. Maybe it's the no phone rule or the morning workout, and master it for the next 7 days. Prove to yourself that you are in control. If you are serious about building real wealth this year, and you are ready to stop making excuses, I want you to comment the words "I am committed" down below. If you learned something new from this video, make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe, because we're going to dive deeper into the psychology of money in the next video. Go win your morning so you can win your life. I'll see you in the next one.